My landlord stood in my hallway, holding a clipboard, calmly explaining why he'd be keeping my entire security deposit. He pointed at a scratch on the hardwood floor like he'd just solved a crime. What he didn't know? 3 years earlier, I had filmed every inch of that apartment, and I had receipts. If you've ever been blamed for something you didn't do, if you've ever felt that tight knot in your stomach when someone tries to take advantage of you, go ahead and hit subscribe, like the video, because this is what justice looks like when you come prepared. Let's get into it. 3 years ago, when I moved into that apartment, I was excited. It wasn't huge, it wasn't luxury, but it was mine, my first real place without roommates. Hardwood floors, decent light, quiet hallway. It felt like independence. And then my dad called. Now, my dad isn't paranoid, but he's careful. Years ago, he'd lost a security deposit over mystery damage that magically appeared after he moved out. He'd tried arguing it, but it became a he said, she said situation. No proof, no leverage, just frustration. So when I told him I'd picked up the keys, he didn't congratulate me. He said, before you unpack a single box, document everything. I remember laughing. Everything? Everything, he repeated. Walls, floors, ceilings, inside cabinets, inside the fridge. If there's a scratch the size of an eyelash, I want it on record. At the time, I thought he was overreacting. I mean, who spends their first hour in a new apartment playing detective? Apparently, me. I set my phone to record and started a full walkthrough. I narrated like I was hosting a low-budget home inspection show. Living room wall, small scuff here near the outlet. Kitchen cabinet, slight chip on bottom hinge. Hallway, there's a deep scratch in the hard wood about 2 feet from the bathroom. I crouched down so the camera caught it clearly. I even zoomed in. Then I moved to the bathroom. There's a stain on the ceiling above the shower, I said out loud, noting this on day 1. I remember feeling slightly ridiculous, but I kept going. After the video, I went room by room again and took still photos, close-ups, wide angles, 94 photos in total. I made sure my phone's date was visible in frame when possible. Then I uploaded everything to Google Drive that same evening, shared the folder to my email, timestamp locked. It took 45 minutes. I didn't think about those files again for 3 years. Fast forward. Last month, I gave notice. I'd accepted a new job in another city, packed my boxes, cleaned the place top to bottom, filled nail holes, scrubbed the oven. I wanted 0 excuses. Then came the pre-move inspection. My landlord arrived with a clipboard and that professional half-smile landlords use when they're about to say something unpleasant. We walked through together. He stopped in the hallway. He crouched. He ran his finger over the hardwood floor. There's a deep scratch here, he said slowly, like he just uncovered a buried secret. This will likely need repair. My stomach tightened. Deep scratch. The exact phrase hit me like déjà vu. We continued. In the bathroom, he looked up. There's staining on the ceiling above the shower. Moisture damage, perhaps. That wasn't reported. Wasn't reported? Then in the bedroom, he ran his hand along the baseboards. These are significantly scuffed. Significantly. I could feel it happening, that creeping, familiar frustration, the sense of being cornered, the unspoken assumption that I was young, moving out, easy to charge. A few days later, I received the list. He planned to deduct for repairing the hallway scratch, repainting and addressing the bathroom ceiling stain, and extensive baseboard scuff repairs. It wasn't small change. He was essentially wiping out my entire deposit. And for a moment, just a moment, I felt that powerless heat rise up my neck. Because here's the thing about being accused of something you didn't do. It's not just about money. It's about being underestimated. It's about someone assuming you won't push back. It's about that subtle disrespect. But then I remembered something. 94 photos, a 45-minute video, time-stamped. I didn't argue over email. I didn't send a long defensive paragraph. Instead, I requested we review the concerns together. When we met again, I didn't open with anger. I didn't accuse him of trying to scam me. I simply unlocked my phone. Actually, I said calmly, I documented the apartment the day I moved in. His eyebrows lifted slightly. Polite interest. I pulled up the video. We stood in that same hallway. I hit play and scrubbed to the exact moment. There's a deep scratch in the hardwood about 2 feet from the bathroom. Past me said confidently through the speaker. There it was, clear as day. The same scratch, same location, same shape. Already there. He didn't speak. I switched to the bathroom clip. There's a stain on the ceiling above the shower, noting this on day 1. I remember feeling slightly ridiculous, but I kept going. Then the bedroom photos, close-ups of the baseboards, every scuff visible, documented, dated. I didn't say, "See, I told you." I didn't raise my voice. I just let the evidence sit there between us. The silence stretched. He adjusted his clipboard, cleared his throat. "I'll review my records," he said. That was it. No apology, no acknowledgement, just quiet. And in that moment, I felt something shift, because the power dynamic had flipped. He'd walked in assuming control, assuming authority, assuming I had nothing. Instead, he was staring at a digital time capsule that dismantled his entire claim. 11 days later, the deposit hit my account. Full amount. No deductions. No itemized explanation. No follow-up. Just the money. And honestly, that was enough. But the real satisfaction wasn't the cash. It was that moment in the hallway, when he realized he couldn't rewrite reality, when he understood that I had prepared for exactly this scenario. That scratch he confidently pointed at, already documented. That stain he claimed wasn't reported, literally narrated out loud on day 1. It wasn't dramatic revenge. I didn't sue. I didn't blast him online. I just came prepared. And there's something deeply satisfying of that kind of justice, because so many of these situations rely on intimidation, on the assumption that tenants don't document, that they don't keep records, that fighting back isn't worth it. Preparation doesn't feel powerful in the moment you're doing it. Spending 45 minutes filming empty rooms feels excessive. Uploading files feels unnecessary. But 3 years later, that overreaction became leverage. And I'll never forget the quiet in that hallway. Not anger, not shouting, just silence. The kind of silence that says, "Oh, thanks, Dad." When that deposit notification came through, I didn't cheer. I didn't celebrate. I just sat there, staring at the number, feeling the steady wave of vindication roll through me. Not because I'd beaten someone, but because I hadn't been beaten. Because the narrative didn't get twisted. Because the truth had backup. And somewhere, I imagined my landlord scrolling through his own records, realizing the easiest target in the room wasn't actually a target at all. Justice doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it comes as a quiet bank notification and the knowledge that someone tried and failed. The lesson is, document everything. Not because you expect conflict, but because preparation protects you from it. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's proof. If you've ever had a landlord, boss, or anyone try to blame you for something that wasn't yours, I want to hear it. Drop your story in the comments. And if you believe in smart justice, not loud revenge, but the kind that leaves the other person speechless, hit like and subscribe, because sometimes the most satisfying wins are the quiet ones.